Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm at Sandown Pier. I'm going to have some fun with the... I can't show you the camera. I haven't been up on the pier for ages. Look at this old Garfield toy, mate. I wish I was 5 again. I'll be all over this place. I've come up here today with the Nikon F5 and a roll of JCH StreetPan 400 film. Garfield's talking to me. So do you remember the other week I was shooting, I think it was a roll of Orwo, and I was on my belly in the streets and I was trying to get some cool compositions that I could frame and put up indoors and trying to get a collection going. Well, I bought another 2 frames exactly the same. I've already used 2 of them. I've got another 2 now that I'm going to intend to put some photographs or prints in later on from the darkroom, but first I need to get the photographs in the camera. So I've got this roll of JCH StreetPan in this camera and I'm going to mill around this pier and try and get some quirky looking compositions, hopefully to make prints out of later on in the darkroom. Stick around because I'll be in the darkroom. I'll show you how I put these prints together. The JCH StreetPan film I know is quite a punchy, contrasty film. It's I wouldn't say it's quite a forgiving film. I certainly don't want to underexpose it. If anything, overexpose it by a stop. But I'm going to shoot it as is at 400, and most of these shots I'm going to be shooting around sort of shallow apertures, around 2.8, 5.6. Certainly, really, maybe not much smaller than that. So I've got the Nikon F5. I've already set this to 400 speed, so the camera knows what film I've got inside, and I'm going to be shooting this in aperture priority mode, which means I select the aperture and the camera will select the correct shutter speed. So what I'm looking for composition mind is anything that in my mind will look good printed in that frame when I get back. So I've got what, 36 shots in here. Most of you know me, I usually go out and I'll take 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 at the most shots and cut the film out of the camera and just develop what I've shot. But I'm going to do the whole 36 because, you know, you never know, sometimes the unexpected makes the better print. So I'm going to walk minute around here now, get some photographs in the camera and see what we can come up with. I'll show you the compositions as we go along. This looks a nice composition. I've got some curve going on with this metal thing, whatever it is, this step. I'm also trying to get the lines of the planks in as well to come in from the frame. You know, just might make something different. See what we can do here. Come up a little bit. So I'm just looking through my viewfinder for a composition. That's it, done. To be honest with you, I'm actually struggling up here today just to find some different compositions, but I'm determined to get there. Just got to keep my mind open, keep my eyes peeled, see what I can come up with. Oh, don't Adam and Eve it. Always makes me laugh when people walk past and they see you on your belly taking a photograph. They're either thinking, what's that weirdo doing, or they're thinking to themselves, What's he looking at? What's he taking the photograph of? Chuckles me up. Chuckles me up, it does. I've got a few more pictures to take yet, mate. All right. Well, it's going to take me a while. I'm just trying to get some decent compositions. See what I can get. It's a boring job. Yeah, I know. A bit windy, it's really windy up here. Yeah. Oh, my knees are hurting. Eh? Yeah, good luck to you, mate. I'll catch you later. I can see a composition here somewhere, but finding it is the tricky part. And of course, like I said, I keep thinking in my mind what's going to look good inside them frames. And I've got to remember that this is quite a punchy film, so I want to try and make sure that I get some highlights and some whites in the shots. Dark stuff I don't think is going to work too well. So I'm leaving the pier now. I've got, I don't know, maybe another 8 or so shots in the camera, so I'm going to go and shoot them outside around the seafront, see what I can find. And I'm leaving the pier at the right time. Looks like it's getting pretty busy. People have started to come in now, so I've got here at the right time, but it is early in the morning though. Here we go. You know, might have a quick go at Pac-Man or something. A bit of Atari combat. Oh dear. Oh, Fast and Furious. Bit of air ping pong, whatever that's called. Oh yeah, I don't often come in here. When I was a kid I used to love these places. We all did, didn't we? Getting 10p off your dad to put in the machine. Oh, good old times. I don't like coming in here now though. Sticking me loose change in these machines. You don't get it back. So I'm in my darkroom now, and you guys have already seen the photographs that I've taken. There's the film there. I'm yet to develop it. So if you've seen the photographs I've scanned, no doubt they've come out okay. I've not got a clue what they're going to come out like. I'm going to be developing the film in ADOX's XT3 developer, which I've got here. ADOX kindly sent me some of that a little while ago, and I'm going to be developing it one part to one part, albeit the massive dev chart says 17 minutes. So that's going to be a little bit boring. I don't mind doing 6, 8, maybe 10 minutes, but 17 minutes, I'll just listen to some music or maybe watch a movie at the same time. But I'm going to turn all the lights off in a moment, get this inside my developing tank and get developing the film. And as for the shoot itself, I found myself running out of steam. At first I was quite excited about going to the pier. I thought I can get some really cool compositions, but then when I looked around and started to, after about 10 shots, to try to find different things, I suddenly started to lose a little bit of motivation and a little bit of inspiration, if you like, a little bit of creativity. I started to lose it, but I felt like I kind of pulled it back the further I went on. It was just harder to try and find compositions down there without being the same old thing, wire fences and wooden planks. But anyway, I'm going to turn the lights off, develop this film, and then we'll have a look in the negatives on the light box and see which ones we want to make a print of to put in those frames. We're all on the same wavelength now. You've seen the prints for the first time, so have I. These are the negatives that I come back with. You can see how punchy they are, and the reviews on this film does say about how contrasty it is. I believe it's a surveillance film. I haven't looked at any data sheets for it, but you can see from the negatives how punchy it is. It almost kind of eliminates the mid-tones, but I guess that's something to get used to for the future. However, I'm quite happy with the way it's all come out. I'm really happy actually. And I've chose a couple of prints that I'm going to make. In fact, I better let you know, one of the photographs you saw, you might have thought, what the hell was that? It was this stripy one here. That was actually deck chairs on the beach. And there was another one as well that you might not have thought, what the hell was that? That one there was looking in between the benches on the pier. I did take a photograph of the young lad that was working on the pier, but the camera's like me, to picked up his white shirt and made his face go dark, so that wasn't very good. And the other one you guys might have thought, what the hell was that? That one there, that was a lobster pot in between some railings on some stairs. Just a lobster pot that I saw, took a picture of that. But I've already seen the ones that I think are going to work inside the 2 frames that I've bought, which is pretty much on the first set that I took. It's this one here of the stairs. I just like the way the highlights and the hard hitting contrast comes together, and also that one there where I was looking down at the planks on that metal stuff. So I'll work with this one first and see how we get on. I've got to make some test prints and see how they come out. So yeah, that one with the metal and the planks I'm going to do first. I was just looking down, literally taking that photograph. Put that in the enlarger. I need to do some tests to see where we're going with regard to times and what filters I'm going to use. I've also got to be very aware that my blacks are going to be quite deep, especially with the FOTOSPEED paper that I'm using. I've noticed that's quite a punchy paper as well. See how we get on. And to match the other 2 frames that I did the other week, I need to print this 16 by 12 full size, but just pull in a little bit, enough to leave a small border where the mat board goes on the frame. So we just come in slightly. So all I've done, I've just put a piece of paper, an old print, upside down on here, and I've marked out exactly where the easel is, just so I can see, make sure that my border's going to be spot on. It might be a more mathematical way of doing it, but this is my way, visual way. I'll just show you. So if I lift that up, you can see there the little markings that I've just made. So that tells me that I've got a nice edge border around that, around the print that I'm going to be making for the frame. So inevitably I'm going to lose only a slight little tiny bit of the negative. So it's up to me just to reposition the easel, what I want in the frame, and I want it quite heavy where the metal part is. That looks good. And obviously trying to keep it all straight. That looks good actually. So just do a quick focus test, and then I'll start with a 2.5 grade filter. I think that's going to be too much for it, but we'll soon see. And it's very fine grain. Oh, that is very fine. Okay, nice to see. And I pull my aperture down to 5.6. That should work. A little bit of light spilling over the side there. We'll close that in. So I'm going to do 2 tests for this, because I've got the wood and also the lighter part, which is the metal. I'm going to do a test on the wood and a test on the metal as well, and see where we go from there. So the first test will be on the wood. 2-second increments, contrast 2.5 filter. 2, 4, 6. So these are my first tests, just this amount of paper I've used. This was the first test, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. And I thought, okay, let's see what 10-second does overall. I was looking mainly at the wood. That's a 10-second print overall using the metal plate there, which was the brightest part of the image, against the darkest part, which was the wood. And although the metal plate looks nice, the wood seems to have just lost, it's just gone a bit black. So I decided to go for 6 seconds. I'll use a smaller test strip just at the corner edge there, so I could see what the highlight was doing. And now I've started to get detail, or now I've got much more detail in the wood. So I've got a feeling I could do this print at 6 seconds, 2.5 grade filter, and then just burn in this metal plate for another 4 seconds. Let's see how we get on. So I've set the timer for 10 seconds, and I'm going to use these 2 pieces here just to block the light and try and burn that for the last 4 seconds, the metal plate. So I have to count that in. 1. About now. Burn that plate in. Last 4 seconds there. Wow. See how that looks. And these prints are from my home. So I'm not going to go overboard and try and make masterpieces. If I like it and I'll frame it. If there's anything wrong with it and I don't, and it's going to annoy me when it's hanging on the wall, then I need to try and make a reprint. At the moment, this is looking quite nice. Okay, so I've just made that print, I've fixed it and I've washed it, and here it is here. I've just got a couple of little teething troubles with it. It looks nice, but it's just a little bit blown out in the corner here and here. And like I said, if I don't like it for the frame, it's only going to annoy me. I may as well try and fix it now in a darkroom. And not only that, there's a little tiny bit of crap there on the negative that I need to get off before I try and challenge a reprint. But all I need to do is exactly the same again, but this time just burn these corners in for maybe another 5 seconds each side and see what happens. So that's all been fixed, developed, fixed and washed. So I don't know if you can see through the camera, but I've just burned in these corner edges. Everything else is the same, but I've burned in these little corner edges here, and I also burned up the top part here. I just felt that they was going a bit light in the top there, so I just did a little tiny bit of burning there. Nice print, I like it. That's going in a frame. And this is the second negative that I want to print. I've already cleaned it up, put it in the enlarger. There it is, all blown up, 16 by 12 or just under to allow for that border. Same again, I just need to do some test prints. Now, looking at the last negative, I'm going to just put a piece of paper on there, just a small test strip on there for 10 seconds, see what happens. I've roughly got a ballpark where I need to be, about 10 seconds. Most of these exposures are pretty similar. So I'm going to throw it on there for 10 seconds and just see what we get. So make sure that I've got all the tones in there, the blacks, the mids and the highlights. 10 seconds, see what happens. Got a feeling that might be too dark, but this is all part of testing. So these are the 2 test strips that I've just done on that second negative that I want to make a print of. This was contrast 2.5 grade filter to 10 seconds, and it looks okay. I know the black's going to be black, that's the kind of film it is. But I thought, okay, let's try and split grade and try and pull it back a little tiny bit, see if I can recover some of those darker areas. And this is a split grade, so this was 2.5 grade filter for 10 seconds, and I use a contrast 0, a low contrast filter for 5 seconds, and then I hit it with contrast 5 for another 5 seconds, which is a high contrast filter. So I'm going to go for a split grade print, contrast 0, contrast 5, 5 seconds each, see how that looks. So it doesn't matter which way I do it, 5 seconds contrast 5, so that will build the blacks up, it won't really touch the highlights. And then I'll put the low contrast filter in, contrast 0, and that will make hardly any difference to the blacks, but it will build the whites up. So that much brighter it is, look. Okay, see how that looks. And because it's such a rough and rugged looking sort of photograph, a little tiny minute hair or dust speck is not going to bother me. Obviously if it's too big like the last print I did, then it would, but I've got a feeling this will be okay. But I like it because I've got those white lines of the steps going all across and a little bit of fencing, and they're coming off from the top. Just turn it around. Top of the print all the way down to the bottom. It looks really nice, and that one's come out really nice as well. You can see what I said earlier on when I was shooting the videos, that I was looking for compositions where they've got some highlights in, because if that didn't have these white stripes, that would look pretty bland, or the white railings, it wouldn't have worked. So all throughout that shoot I was looking for compositions where there is a little bit of highlight that would bounce back in the print, and that one there demonstrates it nice. What a lovely film. So it's a little bit later on, and there they are there, the 2 prints that I made now framed, and they're going to go with the other 2 prints. This is sitting there, which is the video that I made the other week, a few weeks ago, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll stick a link in the Discord. I'll put it up here somewhere, you know where it is, if you haven't seen that video. And they look really nice. I'll just show you quickly. Hopefully the light's not glaring all over them, but they look quite nice. They're going to go up on my wall at some point along with the other 2. That's 4 now. My wife's going Garrity. She's like, bloody hell, where's my flowers, where's my cows? I'm like, nope, sorry, you're gonna have some street stuff for a little while and some strange looking prints, but I like them. Whether no one else does, that's all that matters. As long as I like them, they're going up in my house. So they're the 2 that I managed to get from that negative, and the rest of them were okay. There was a few other corkers in there that I could have printed, but they were the two that really stuck out. And this particular one here, I had to remember which way it went. I wanted it to come up from here exactly as I shot it. So easy to have framed it the other way round, but I didn't. And as for the JCH StreetPan film, like I said, I have shot that before in the past, only a couple of times, and from what I recall, it was contrasty, and this time round again, a hard-hitting, punchy film, being a surveillance film. I quite enjoyed it though. I think it suits its place in certain things, and as it says JCH StreetPan, maybe good for street photography. These sort of prints come out really nice. I do think it's important that you get some brighter tones in the image as well. Like I was looking for highlights and stuff such as this and such as these. I just think it makes it a bit more striking because the blacks are going to really crush, unless of course you're going to meter for the shadows and blacks and bring them up. It's up to you, but in this case, that's what I did with that film, and I've got a few more rolls of that stuff to play with, so in time I'll play around and see what other stuff I can get with that JCH StreetPan film. So anyway guys, thanks very much for watching. If you did watch till the end, thanks to all the subscribers, patrons, YouTube members, and everyone that sends me stuff. I really do appreciate it. Your kindness is humbling, so I'll catch you next time.